Hey. Okay. Back in today to talk about two unfortunate tragedies that happened over the weekend. One of those was, as most of you guys probably know by now, last Friday I think it was. Let's see when this guy put this thing up. Um, you know, yeah, he put it up a few days later. Um, Last Friday, Gil Scott Heron passed away, the poet slash rapper. And then, just I think this last Sunday, yeah, this last Sunday, um, G. Geronimo Pratt, a high-ranking member of of the old Los Angeles chapter of the Panthers, died, and I know a lot about both of them, but I'm gonna let somebody else talk about them, and I'm gonna bring him in now. I'm gonna start off with the G. Geronimo Pratt piece.
Geronimo, born Elmer G. Pratt, returns to his ancestors. On Thursday, June 2nd, 2011, came word that former Black Panther leader Geronimo G. Jaga, born Elmer G. Pratt, died in his exile in Tanzania. Geronimo's life was one of intense and almost total warfare, from battles in his youth on behalf of the U.S. Empire in Vietnam, to his return to the States where he joined the L.A. chapter of the Black Panther Party and fought for his people. The FBI-inspired killing of L.A. Black Panther leader Alprentice Bunchy Carter led to Geronimo's rise as the chapter's Deputy Minister of Defense. And during a police raid on the office on December 8, 1969, Geronimo so prepared the office that it withstood a 6-hour police paramilitary assault with automatic weapons and grenades. Geronimo's prominence and shine in the shadow of Hollywood so disturbed the state, local, and federal governments that they framed him for a murder it was impossible for him to commit and sent him to prison for 27 years. When he was freed, it was because of the federal government files showed he was 300 miles away when the murder took place. And the state's chief witness was not only an LAPD undercover agent, but a snitch for the DA's office and the LA Sheriff, the agency that formerly employed him. Upon his liberation, Geronimo, after going across the country and thanking his supporters, left the land of his birth and joined a small expatriate community near Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. Like several other ex-Panthers, he could never trust his life nor his freedom to the American government. And though he spent his final years under the brilliance of an African sun, one suspects that he always missed the rhythms of his native Louisiana, which remained in his speech and its accents. It was in Louisiana, after all, where he learned about black armed self-defense, for this was fertile ground for the Deacons for Defense, an armed body which resisted and forcibly discouraged Ku Klux Klan violence. Geronimo G. Jaga, a warrior for his people, returns to his ancestors. From death row, this is Mumia Abu Jamal.
Okay, so that was the first part, and as you already know, it was from Mumia Abu Jabal, a prisoner at Pennsylvania's death row. He does commentary all the time, and I thought, what the hell, I might as well just use his pieces that he's done this. And then this is his piece on. Let me see if I got it queued up right.
Gil Scott Heron, Radical Poet, 1949-2011. At 50, one should hardly be surprised at death, especially natural death. But we're often betrayed by feelings such as these, as exampled by the recent passing of Gil Scott Heron, a pioneering poet of the 70s and 80s who, with his remarkable baritone, made the smooth transition from protest poet to singer, succeeding brilliantly at both. As poet, his phrasings were often backed up by the percussive power of drums. His later works were backed by a full band of talented musicians, notably pianist Brian Jackson, leader of the aptly named Midnight Band. His poems and songs were often scathing political critiques, which were powerful cultural commentaries, especially in the Watergate era and after Nixon's resignation. Gil Scott Heron Heron's work, like The Revolution Will Not Be Televised and Living in the Bottle, neatly threaded the needle between the political and the personal, and enjoyed considerable airplay on black and college radio stations. Like many artists, especially of the jazz era, Gil Scott-Heron reportedly utilized controlled substances to feed his head. His influence had a powerful impact on the rap genre, which would succeed him. Gil Scott-Heron was 62. From Death Row, this is Mumia Abu Jamal. These commentaries are recorded by Noel Hanrahan of Prison Radio.
Yeah, so those are the two pieces from that, and then I'm gonna play a little thing to go out. I'm gonna play you The Revolution Will Not Be Televised by Gil Scott-Heron.
You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and leading a charge by John Mitchell, General Abrams, and Mendel Rivers to eat hog maws confiscated from a Harlem sanctuary. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by the Schaefer Award Theater and will not star Natalie Woods and Steve McQueen or Bullwinkle and Julia. The revolution will not give your mouth sex appeal. The revolution will not get rid of the nubs. The revolution will not make you look 5 pounds thinner. The revolution will not be televised, brother. There will be no pictures of you and Willie Mae pushing that shopping cart down the block on the dead run or trying to slide that color TV into a stolen ambulance. NBC will not be able to predict the winner at 8:32 on reports from 29 districts. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of Whitney Young being run out of Harlem on a rail with a brand new process. There will be no slow motion or still lifes of Roy Wilkins strolling through Watts in a red, black, and green liberation jumpsuit that he had been saving for just the right occasion. Green Acres, Beverly Hillbillies, and Hooterville Junction will no longer be so goddamn relevant, and women will not care if Dick finally screwed Jane on Search for Tomorrow because black people will be in the street looking for a brighter day. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no highlights on the 11 o'clock news and no pictures of Harry-armed women liberationists and Jackie Onassis blowing her nose. The theme song will not be written by Jim Webb or Francis Scott Keys, nor sung by Glenn Campbell, Tom Jones, Johnny Cash, or Engelbert Humperdinck. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be right back after a message about a white tornado, white lightning, or white people. You will not have to worry about a dove in your bedroom, the tiger in your tank, or the giant in your toilet bowl. The revolution will not go better with Coke. The revolution will not fight germs that may cause bad breath. The revolution will put you in the driver's seat. The revolution will not be televised, will not be televised, not be televised. The revolution will be no rerun, brothers. The revolution will be live.
Yeah, so rest in peace to G. Pratt and Gil Scott-Heron.